So we're going to start in a comfortable kneeling position, which I know for many people might not be that comfortable. But if you do want a cushion, you can either put it between the legs or you can put it underneath the knees. And so we're getting a little quad stretch as we start to slow and deepen the breath. And I always start a yoga class like this to honour the fact that we are not just doing exercise, that we are trying to raise our consciousness and our awareness of our body and explore something more. It also helps us to transition from whatever's been going on before this moment into our yoga practice. So sitting up tall, lengthening the spine up towards the sky, lengthening out the lower back, which might mean tucking the tailbone under or creating some length in the lower back, allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears. And as you breathe in, trying to inflate the belly and then the chest up to the collarbones. And as you breathe out, moving from collarbones, chest, and drawing the navel back towards the spine. So this is called the 3-part breath. And it starts to engage the abdominal muscles. It's helping us to more mindfully deepen and slow the breath. And I'd like you to try and pause on the inhale. When you feel so full of breath, pausing for a few seconds and seeing if you can feel the breath in between the shoulder blades. Before gently exhaling and inhaling again and repeating. So we can use the breath to move into different parts of the body. And today, because we are exploring spinal alignment and awareness, I'm trying to particularly draw attention to that area in between the shoulder blades. How we can expand the back, engage the muscles in the back, which are really important for inversions. So from here, we're going to turn it into a neck stretch. I'm going to warm the hands by rubbing them together and place it to either side of the neck. And we're going to give the head a roll from one side, semicircle, back to the other, pausing for a moment on each side. And just feeling the weight in the hands of the head. I'm going to come back to center, helping the neck to come to a neutral position. And then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. So clasp the fingers behind the back and push the hands away. So open the shoulders and open the heart space. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to lower the chest down towards the thighs. Breathing in, lifting up. Reaching the arms away. And breathing out, rolling forward. Do that a couple more times. Breathing in, reaching the chest forward. And breathing out, rolling the chest down onto the thighs. I'm going to breathe in and come back up to center. and release the hands. Take my jump off to show you this. So next we're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. As we breathe in, we're reaching the hands away from the body. And as we breathe out, we're trying to draw the shoulder blades down the back. We have a tendency when we lift the arms to hunch up towards the neck. And we're constantly trying to counter that movement by drawing the shoulder blades down the body and also wrap the upper arm, which I'd like you to imagine you're trying to hide your armpit if there was somebody next to you. So we're doing 3 opposing movements. Breathing in, reaching away. Breathing out, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And then also wrapping the armpits. Breathe in, reach away. Breathe out, draw shoulder blades down. And wrap. One more time. Breathe in, reach away. Breathe out, draw shoulders down and wrap. And release the arms. We're going to come onto our hands and knees into tabletop position. So the other thing with working up to inversions such as handstand is arm and hand position. So with the hands, spread them as wide as you can with the middle finger being in line with the wrist, elbow and shoulder. So the arms are roughly shoulder distance apart. And if you press into the hands and extend the shoulders out, like we were just doing, then take a bend in the elbows, and we're trying to draw the elbows towards one another. When they flail out to the side, then the shoulder becomes weaker because it's not in alignment. So we're trying to draw the elbows towards one another, which also causes this wrapping of the upper arm. So we're doing the 3 movements again, pressing into the hands, trying to draw the shoulders away from the ears, and also wrap the upper arm. I'm going to tuck the toes and then lift the hips up towards the sky to come into downward facing dog. I'm going to try the same movements. Press into the hands, draw shoulders away from ears, and then wrap the armpits. You may wish to pedal out the legs. If the hamstrings are tight, it's the first downward dog, so often feels quite tight. And keep pressing into the hands, extending out the shoulders, draw shoulder blades down the back and wrap the armpits. And that's one of the hardest set of movements, I think, to achieve in yoga. Like downward dog, I feel like I'm still learning downward dog after like 12 years, just from trying to get all of those movements together. Pressing away, extending out the shoulders, drawing shoulder blades down the back and wrapping armpits. Taking a deep breath in and see if you can perhaps draw the chest a little closer to the thighs. Now the next in-breath, I'm going to draw the chest forward so we come into a high plank. I'm going to do the same thing with the shoulders, press out to the shoulders so we extend, draw the shoulder blades down the back, wrap the top of the armpits. And now if we also engage the legs by drawing the heels away, I might feel the tops of the thighs really turn on. Take a couple of breaths here. I'm going to drop the right knee onto the floor, spin the right foot out to the side, and then peel up the left arm so we come into a side plank. And from here, we can take the arm over the head to create an opening down the side of the body, particularly into the side ribs. And seeing if you can release the neck. Breathing in, reaching away that top arm. Breathing out, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. One more breath here. I'm going to lower that hand to the floor as we come into our tabletop position, and we're going to turn to the other side. Turn it on this way. So this time the left foot comes out to the side, we peel up the right as it comes up towards the sky and then over the head. So breathing in, reaching away. Yeah. And releasing the neck if you can. And feeling that the back foot is the anchor point. So from there, the stretch is going all the way up the leg, across the side of the body and out the top of the fingertips. Breathing in, reaching away. Breathing out, releasing shoulders and neck. I'm going to lower that hand back into tabletop. I'm going to come through some cat-cows to release the spine. So as we breathe in, drawing the chest, chin and tailbone up towards the sky. Breathing out, tucking the chin towards the chest. And perhaps also adding in any other movements which feel good. So breathing in, moving forward. Might want to rock the pelvis from side to side. Breathing out, tucking chin towards the chest. We're going to meet back in our tabletop position. I'm going to tuck the toes under, come back into our downward facing dog. Press into hands, extend out the shoulders, wrap the armpits. And then we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. So we come into a forward fold. Option here to grab the inside of the elbows, or to let the hands just loosely fall onto the ground. If you need a bend in the knees because the hamstrings are tight, take it. And if you want to go a little deeper in this pose, draw the belly back towards the spine and see if that creates a bit of space at the top of the thighs, in which you can press the chest and perhaps lower the head a little closer to the ground. And do one more breath here. I'm going to press into the hands, lift the chest. As you breathe in, take a bend in the knees and then draw the head and chest all the way up to standing. So you find yourself in Tadasana pose. This is called mountain pose. So I think this pose is massively underestimated or undervalued. People often think it's just standing up. Actually, there's a lot going on in this posture which we can take into our handstand practice. So first of all, the connection with the ground. I want you to lift the toes off the floor and you feel the base of the toes pressing into the ground. You can connect with the four corners of the feet. And from there, we can have the knees just off lock. And we want the thighs to be parallel, which causes a slight, to get that feeling is a slight external rotation. And we're trying to lift the spine up or lengthen the spine, feeling a broadening across the sacrum or between the sit bones. We can bring the hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in, press into the hands so the biceps turn on. And then keeping that engagement, draw the hands down to the sides of the body. Shoulder blades are drawing together and down the back. Let's draw the chin back towards the spine and then feeling length at the crown of the head up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in to the space between the shoulder blades. So you feel a broadening across the back. And that engagement through the body is what we're looking for when we're in our handstand practice. And this should be the ultimate strength position. Feeling strong in this position is what we need to then remind ourselves that it's the same when we're upside down. So we're going to come through a flow sequence, which is called Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. So coming to the front of your mat, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up. As you breathe out, swan dive, forward fold, hands come to the mat. Breathe in, lift chest, lift head. Breathe out, step or jump back to plank. Option to lower the knees to the floor as you breathe out and lower the chest. Hands come forward to the shoulders, breathe in, lift chest. Breathe out, press back to downward facing dog. Look forward, Breathe in, step or jump to the front of the mat. Hands come to the shins, lift chest. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, arms swoop up. Palms together, breathe out, back to heart center. Let's go again. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, swan dive. Breathe in, lift chest and head. Breathe out, step back to high plank. And lower, on or off the knees to the floor. Hands come forward as shoulders, breathe in, lift chest. Breathe out, lower chest and push back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, look and step forward to the front of the mat, hands on shins. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, arms reach up. Breathe out, hands back to heart center. Last one, breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, swan dive, forward fold. Breathe in, lift chest. Breathe out, step back to high plank and lower on or off the knees. Breathe in, draw, hands come forward, lift chest. Breathe out, lower chest, push back to downward facing dog. Look forward, breathe in, step forward, hands on shins. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, arms swoop up. And hands come back to heart center, breathe out. Nice. So I hope you're feeling a little bit warmer. We're going to just briefly talk about spinal alignment, which I want you to do a little acting. Bear with me. First of all, stand in what feels like your most overly relaxed standing posture. And most of the time when we do this, we see that we shift our weight, we're not balanced on both feet, our shoulders may hunch. And now I'd like you to be overly sympathetic. When you're like really trying to listen to somebody and you're really focused of what somebody's saying, and you might tilt your head to show that you're listening. And so our neck is out of alignment and our chest may fall forward. And the last one is to imagine that you're a guard who's on guard, who's super alert, and we're overemphasizing a straight posture. And the thing is, with yoga, what we're trying to achieve is a little bit of all of these things, but not so much out of creating de-alignment. So we're trying to create a relaxed, soft, focus position without being tense, without being so relaxed that we're not engaged with our body, without being so soft that we're coming out away from the support of the spinal column, which is why the Tadasana pose is trying to teach us that connection, focus, or engagement, and strength. If we are just strong in the spinal column, then we're not going to have flexibility. And if we have too much flexibility, then we don't have the strength. And so a lot of our de-alignment comes from our habitual ways of being, which for many of us is this, or looking after children. So there's a posture specifically to counteract these issues, which funnily enough is called chair pose. So in chair pose, the feet traditionally would be together, but I find that quite intense on the ankles, so I tend to do a little bit apart, so it's up to you. The arms come up above the head, exactly what we did at the start of the class. Breathe in, reach the arms away, and then the shoulders come down the back, and then we start to sit down. So taking a bend in the knees, but the back stays long. There's a tendency to stick the tailbone out. We want to try and draw that down, so we flatten out the lower back. Yeah, Nice. So keep breathing in, reaching the arms away, and then trying to draw the shoulder blades down the back. Breathe in, reach away. As you breathe out, draw shoulder blades down the back, wrap the armpits, and see if you can perhaps sit a little lower. Breathe in, expand the chest, reach away. Breathe out, shoulder blades down the back, wrap the armpits, sit a little lower. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in, reach away. Breathe out, shoulder blades down, armpits wrapped, and perhaps sit a little lower. So from here, we're going to lift the heels off the floor, which makes it a little more challenging. And we're going to see if we can lower to the floor. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Well done. We're going to try and go back up. Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way to standing. Well done. Feet a bit wider apart. I'm going to come into a forward fold. Hands come onto the hips. Bend in the knees. Deep breath in. Lift the chest. As we breathe out, lower the head towards the ground. And release the hands. Let the shoulders relax. We can have a little bounce around here. Option to grab the big toes with the two first fingers. Take a deep breath in, lift the chest, flatten out the lower back. And then as you breathe out, draw the crown of the head towards the ground, keeping the elbows in towards the body. One more breath here. I'm going to release the toes and we're going to come down into a yogi squat position. So the heels may be off the floor. I'm going to have a little rock from side to side just to release and open up the hips. And then we're going to come down onto our sit bones for a boat position. So if you don't have any lower back issues, or if you have back issues, you might want to hold on to the legs for this, or you can put the hands onto the floor. But if not, we're trying to find our balance position on the lower back or the top of, it's kind of the sit bones, isn't it? And then we bring the feet in line with the knees. So I'd like to draw your attention to your feet. So when the toes are pointing back towards the body, the feet are flexed. When we point the feet away from the body, they're pointed. You can feel the plantar flexion, the stretch across the front of the feet. And now I'd like you to try pointing the ball of the foot away. So this part is being pointed away. So it's an in-between of the two. So pointed, flexed, and then this is called flointing, apparently. And this is what I'd like you to try when we go into our handstand practice. Because if you straighten the legs, yeah, well done, you'll find that when we point our feet, yes, Claire, when we point our feet, it can cause cramping. It's quite tense across the feet. And when we flex, it can give a big old hamstring stretch, which is quite intense. So the flointing is a kind of in-between. It's where we can really engage the legs, but not avoid cramping and avoid that overworking the hamstrings. Okay, let's bring the feet back down. We're now going to have a go at a boat pose, but really trying to concentrate on our core muscles. So the other thing about handstand is that we're trying to engage both the core on the front and the back of the torso. So to do this, if you grab the knees and take a deep breath in, expand the heart space and lift it up towards the sky. And now draw the belly back towards the spine. So you might feel that these muscles in between the shoulder blades are turning on, and also we're engaging the belly, the abdominal muscles, and keeping that engagement. See if you can rock back onto tailbone. Take a deep breath in and lift the chest, and then draw the feet up towards, in line with the knees, and then perhaps let go. So deep breath in, lift the chest, engage the abdominal muscles, and perhaps straighten the legs. And let's engage the flointing. So reaching away with the ball of the foot. You can do ball of the foot. It's intense. Yeah, okay, deep breath in. And lower the feet back down. Nice, let's give ourselves a little rock from side to side. And to engage this part of the back, we're going to do another exercise where we come onto our belly. And if you've got lower back issues, I'd suggest not lifting the chin off the floor for this, but the hands are kind of cactus position. So the hands are out to either side of the shoulders. As we take a deep breath in, we're going to lift the chest, hands and head off the floor. Take a deep breath in, expand the back in between the shoulder blades. As you breathe out, draw the shoulder blades together, draw the elbows in towards the body. Breathe in, expand the back. Breathe out, draw shoulder blades together, drag them down the back. Breathe in, expand the back. Breathe out, draw shoulder blades together and down. And lower to the floor. Nice. So coming back onto your hands and knees, I'm going to show you where we're going next. So we're going to do the first part of handstand preps. And I'm going to give you a couple of options about where you might want to, what you might want to try. So the first option is downward facing dog with the feet on skirting board. So it's exactly the same as a normal downward facing dog, but the heels are elevated. The other option is to try downward facing dog, but on the wall. And to do this, you sit against the wall with your feet flexed. You use something to measure the length, and that's where your hands are going, just in front of that measurement. And you then press up to downward facing dog and walk the feet up the wall. So when you're on the wall, you're trying to prevent the dipping in the lower back. And you're practicing pressing into the hands, wrapping the shoulders, and breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. So try whichever. Yes. Cara, are you able to walk your feet down a little bit so they become more in line with, yeah, it is much more difficult. And then from there, seeing if you can wrap the upper arm. Imagine that you're trying to hide your armpit from me. How about you, Claire? How are you getting on? And spread the fingers as wide as you can, because that then maximizes the area. And breathe. Yeah, release the neck. Now, option, if you're feeling okay in that, the next stage is to bring a foot off the wall. So you come up into your downward dog, try and level out the back, press into the hands, and then you can lift one leg out into either being to just lifting it off the wall or trying to lift it over the head. to come down, step one foot and then the other. So starting, yes, Cara, and then up, yeah. Yeah, and when this happens, when we lift a leg, the tendency is that we shift the weight in the hands. So we're trying to keep the weight as even as we can in the hands. If you do start to get, yeah, give the wrists a good shake out between, because it is quite intense on the wrists. And the other option is to roll the mat over a little bit to give a bit of support underneath the wrists. Okay, so the next thing we're going to try is downward dog, but facing the wall. So perhaps a kind of half an arm's length away. Just take a deep breath in and come into your downward facing dog. Pressing into hands, reaching, extending out the shoulders, wrapping the shoulders, and just taking a moment to settle yourself in downward facing dog. And then you're going to take a deep breath in, step 1 foot forward and try popping up so you draw the knee in towards the chest. And when we keep one knee in towards the chest, it can help us to keep the lower back flat. So with your right leg, Cara, whichever leg you're stepping in, when you step in and you then go to kick off, you're trying to keep that leg bent. So you're trying to draw the knee in towards the chest and keep it bent, rather than imagining both legs kind of scissoring. Does that make sense? Yeah. And at first, yeah. Yeah. And all of this is building strength, strength in the arms, and that movement of and for us to use the breath. So before you kick up, take a deep breath in and feel that you're expanding this area of the back and the chest. So it gives that stability before you go into it. And that the most difficult thing with handstand is then breathing once you're in it. When you hold the breath, it can create that sense of stability and breathing into the posture. Because obviously if we just hold it, we're very tense. So to start in your downward dog and take a deep breath in between the shoulder blades and holding that breath like we did at the beginning of the class, holding the breath before you kick up. So even if you just do one, yeah, and think of it as doing one for one breath. So resettle your breath, take a deep breath in, hold the breath, then kick up whilst you're holding the breath, and then as you come back down, allow your breath to return to normal, and then try again. And you might find that one side is way easier to kick up than the other. Usually whichever hip feels stiffer, it can be that you feel a bit slower kicking up on that side. But I also sometimes find that that's a side that, because I'm not moving so quickly, that I can have a bit more precision in. Do either of you want to have a go of doing it from Tadasana? So that's the next stage. But this has really changed my handstand practice, is starting in Tadasana, so doing the connections, lifting the toes, doing the connection with the feet, so lifting the archway, slight external rotation of the thighs, lengthening of the spine, taking a deep breath in, expanding the chest, expanding the back, feeling the connection through the arms to open up the hands, chin back towards the chest. I'm just taking a couple of breaths here to feel strong, to feel connected, and using the breath to connect with the muscles between the shoulder blades. From here, I always take a deep breath and hold the breath before taking a big lunge forward, drawing the hands down and then kicking up, which is really hard to do whilst talking. So I'm going to do it in one swift movement. And I'm cheating slightly because the ceiling is low enough for me to put my feet on. So it does help a lot. But we're trying to get so many of the techniques that we've been working out through this class. We're trying to reach away with the feet, so floint, because if they're better engaged, they're lighter. We're trying to engage the core, the belly, expand the chest and engage the muscles which are between the shoulder blades. Trying to reach out of the shoulders whilst also drawing the shoulder blades down the back and wrapping the upper arms. So the other way is to start with one foot step forward. You lift the arms up, take a deep breath in, reach the arms away, draw shoulder blades down the back, wrap upper arms. Take a deep breath out, breathe in again. Feel the connection between the shoulder blades and then lower into that front knee. Place the hands down and then kick up. And so I definitely found with my own handstand journey that starting composed and concentrating and taking a deep breath and connecting with the body before going into the movement means you're more likely, or I feel that I'm more likely to retain that connection when upside down. So if you feel strong, you feel connected from your mountain pose, and use the breath to inflate the chest, inflate between the shoulder blades, and then step in, that you can more likely hold that connection when you're upside down. Yes, Cara, I love how you're going for it. And the handstand is definitely, you know, it's a journey. It's a journey to feeling to the connection and strength, but also then to feel relaxed. Because if we're rigid and tense, then we're holding our breath, then we're not going to relax into the pose, and that we end up coming out of it. So let's come onto our backs. Oh no, let's do a twist first of all, sorry. If you're mirroring me, you're going to bring your left leg in towards the groin. I'm going to flex the opposite foot. I'm going to bring the same hand as the bent leg behind. I'm going to take a deep breath in and reach this top arm up, and then lift the hips off the floor. So we're twisting and going into a kind of back bend, so we're reaching the arm away, opening up the side ribs. Breathing in, feeling length and space. Breathing out, perhaps releasing the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. And lower the hips back onto the ground. I'm going to swap to the other side. So toes drawn back towards us on the extended leg. Same hand as bent leg comes behind, fingers pointing away. Breathe in, reach the opposite arm up And lift the hips towards the sky. Breathing in, feeling length. Breathing out, perhaps drawing the shoulder away from the ear, releasing the neck. And the next out breath, going to lower the hips back onto the ground. We're now going to come into a forward fold, so swapping legs. This time the foot is coming in towards the thigh and the knee, if possible, out towards the side. You can have the foot a little further away if this doesn't feel so comfortable on the hip. Extended foot, the extended leg is pointing back towards the body. I'm going to take a deep breath in and reach the arms up. And as we breathe out, we're going to hinge forward, keeping the chest lifted until we feel that we can't fold any further forward, and then we'll release the hands. And just allow our head to relax wherever it lands. If you can reach, perhaps grabbing the foot or the shin, and see if you can lift the chest up, draw or drag the chest down the thigh, and then perhaps melt a little deeper onto the front leg. Breathing in, feeling space. Breathing out, trying to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Release the neck. And see if you can press into the bent leg to open up the hip, but also to level out the torso, which naturally wants to turn up towards the sky, and we're trying to draw it level with the thigh. Breathe in, lift the chest, and walk the hands back towards the body. I'm going to swap to the other side. So, drawing the foot in towards the groin, and one side will feel tighter or different to the other. Drawing the toes of the extended leg back towards the body. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. I'm trying to keep the chest high until we can't fold any deeper, and the hands come down to wherever they fall, and then allow the head to come down. If you feel that you're just not getting the benefits of this forward fold, the other option is that you kind of put a cushion, so you can kind of bring your forehead down, so you get the option of relaxing the neck. Perhaps press into the hands, lift the chest, breathe in, expand the chest, and then see if you can sink a little lower on the out breath. Pressing into the bent knee to open up the hip and align the torso so the ribs are coming down towards the ground and in line with the thigh. Breathing in, feeling length. Breathing out, trying to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Next breath in, you're going to press into the hands, lift the chest, and walk the hands back towards the body. We're going to come onto our backs, with the feet roughly underneath the hips. Palms of the hands facing up towards the sky, and then flatten the lower back onto the ground so the pubic bone comes up towards the navel. I'm going to take a deep breath in, press into hands, feet, shoulders, and lift the hips towards the sky. Allow the shoulder blades to fall or roll down the back. Press into hands, feet, and shoulders, and then see if you can lift the hips a little higher. Take a deep breath in, expand the chest. Press into hands, feet, shoulders. Take a deep breath in and see if there's space to lift a little higher. Keep drawing knees towards one another. Use the connection with the feet, hands and shoulders to press and lift. One more. Press into hands, feet, shoulders. Deep breath in and lift a little higher. On the next out breath, going to lower vertebrae by vertebrae back onto the mat, so the tailbone is the last bone to reach the ground. And draw the knees in towards the chest and massage out the back, rocking from side to side. Now place the soles of the feet back on the mat and draw the right knee in towards the chest. Open the right hip and place the right ankle over the left thigh up towards the knee. The hands can be cactus or extended out level with the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, expand the chest. As you breathe out, you're going to lower the right knee down towards the ground. Try to keep the left shoulder pinned to the ground. So we're twisting and there's a little hip opener. Breathing in, feeling space across the chest. And breathing out, releasing tension into the ground. Keep pressing the left shoulder onto the ground so we're twisting from the lower part of the back. On your next in-breath, going to draw the knees back up to center. Draw the right knee in towards the chest and float the foot back down on the floor. This time the left knee comes in. Open up the left hip, placing the left ankle on the right thigh. Deep breath in, expand the chest. As you breathe out, lower the left knee towards the ground. Keeping the right shoulder pinned to the ground, so the twist is coming from the lower part of the spine. Breathing in, feeling space across the chest. And breathing out, releasing tension into the ground. I'm going to stay here for a couple more breaths. On the next in-breath, going to draw the knees back up to center. Place both soles of the feet on the floor. And one last posture before Shavasana. We're going to reach the arms on the inside of the thighs and grab either the ankles or the outsides of the feet. And then we're going to have a little rock from side to side. And Ananda Balasana, happy baby. So we're trying to, in this pose, draw the knees down towards the armpits. And we're going to release the feet. And we're going to extend the legs as we come into Shavasana, but grabbing any blankets or cushions, anything which is going to make you feel warmer and more comfortable in this position. So the legs are extended out away from the body. Feet are falling away from one another. The palms of the hands are facing up towards the sky, and the shoulder blades are rolled long down the back. The back of the neck is long. Just making any other movements now which might make you feel even more comfortable. And taking a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, allowing the weight of the limbs to relax onto the ground. And I'm going to take you through a body scan. I'd like you to linger your awareness on each body part and allow it to relax or melt into the ground. Starting with the feet, the inside and outside of the feet. The feet are relaxing. The feet are completely relaxed. Ankles, shins, calves and knees are relaxing. Ankles, shins, knees and calves are completely relaxed. The inside and outside of the thighs are relaxing. The inside and outside of the thighs are completely relaxed. The hips and pelvis is relaxing. The hips and pelvis is completely relaxed. Lower, middle and upper back are relaxing. Lower, middle and upper back are completely relaxed. Belly, ribcage, chest are relaxing. Belly, ribcage, chest are completely relaxed. Left and right shoulder blades are relaxing. Left and right shoulder blades are completely relaxed. Upper arms, elbows, forearms are relaxing. Upper arms, elbows, forearms are completely relaxed. Wrist, palms, fingers and thumbs are relaxing. Wrist, palms, fingers and thumbs are completely relaxed. Neck and jaw are relaxing. The neck and jaw are completely relaxed. Face, head and mind are relaxing. Face, head and mind are completely relaxed. The whole body is relaxing. The whole body is letting go. Letting go. Letting go. The whole body is at ease. There is nothing left to do but to be.
Ona makambo e, ona makambo e, ona makambo e, ngai na makambo e, munu para kileba juli balutua, lutua, lutua unu wekwe, lutua unu wekwe, ona makambo e.
And start to bring feeling back into your fingers and toes, perhaps reaching the arms above the head and having a full body stretch. And then whenever you feel ready, rolling over onto one side and drawing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position with the hands at heart center. Now take a deep breath in, expand the chest. As you breathe out, release the shoulders away from the ears. Thank you for taking the time to share this practice with me today. Hope you have a lovely rest of the evening. Sending love to you wherever you are. Lots of love.